Hello everyone and welcome to Practice English TV. I'm Mark and we're really happy you're here with us today.
Hi everyone, I'm Emma. Thanks for joining us wherever you're listening from.
Today's episode is about something we all do almost every day, talking about housework and learning how to describe these everyday moments naturally in English.
Yeah, because this isn't really about memorizing a list of household chores. It's about having real conversations, sharing little stories, and talking about the simple things we do at home.
We'll share everyday experiences, natural conversations, useful expressions, and relatable examples that will help you talk about cleaning, cooking, doing the laundry, washing the dishes, and many other daily routines with confidence.
So if you've ever wondered how to talk naturally about your daily chores, describe what you're doing around the house, or simply sound more natural in everyday English conversations, this episode is definitely for you.
And if you enjoy learning English with us, don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with another English learner.
Thank you so much for being here today. Let's begin and talk about housework in English together.
I was thinking about this the other day. Have you ever woken up, looked around your room, and thought, wow, how did it get this messy?
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes I go to bed thinking everything is fine, and somehow the next morning there are clothes on the chair, books on the desk, and a coffee mug I completely forgot about.
Exactly. It's like the room becomes messy while we're sleeping.
I know that's impossible, but sometimes it really feels that way.
Then you tell yourself, I'll clean it after breakfast.
And after breakfast, you suddenly remember something else you need to do.
Right. Then lunchtime comes and the room still looks exactly the same.
I think a lot of people are smiling right now because they've done that too.
Probably. Cleaning doesn't always sound exciting, especially when it's your day off.
But here's the funny thing. Once I actually start cleaning, I usually don't mind it.
Really? I'm the same way. Starting is the hardest part.
Exactly. I'll put on some music, open the window, and suddenly the whole room feels different.
It's amazing how a little fresh air changes your mood.
And making the bed is always my first step. It's a small thing, but somehow it makes the room look much better.
I agree. Even if nothing else is clean, a made bed makes everything feel more organized.
Here's a little situation. Imagine it's Saturday morning. You don't have to work, you don't have any plans, and you look around your apartment.
You notice dishes in the sink, yesterday's clothes on the floor, and maybe a little dust on the table.
You could ignore it.
Or you could spend 30 minutes cleaning everything.
Most of the time, after those 30 minutes, you feel surprisingly happy.
Yeah, because the room feels peaceful again.
And then you sit down with a cup of coffee and think, that wasn't so bad.
I always wonder why I waited so long.
Me too. We spend more time thinking about cleaning than actually cleaning.
That's so true. Another thing I notice is that people often have one household chore they actually enjoy.
Really? What's yours? I like folding clean clothes. It feels relaxing somehow. Everything becomes neat, and I can see that I finished something.
Interesting. I actually enjoy cooking dinner. Not every day, but when I have enough time, it's fun to prepare a meal.
That's nice. I enjoy eating the dinner.
That's an important job too.
But if you ask me about washing dishes...
Uh-oh, I think I know the answer.
Let's just say it's never the highlight of my day.
I understand. Everyone has that one chore they try to do later.
The good news is that these little moments happen in almost every home.
And because they're so common, they're also perfect situations for practicing everyday English.
Exactly. The conversations aren't complicated. They're simply real.
Speaking of real conversations, let's look at some everyday words and expressions that come up naturally while we're doing things around the house. You know what? That reminds me of something that happened a few weeks ago. It started with one shirt and somehow turned into a whole laundry disaster.
Okay, I need to hear this story.
I was getting ready for work and I wanted to wear my favorite blue shirt.
Sounds simple enough.
Well, I opened my closet and it wasn't there.
Did you lose it?
No. Then I remembered it was still sitting inside the washing machine.
Oh no, you forgot to take the clothes out?
I completely forgot. They had been there since the night before.
I think almost everyone has done that at least once.
The worst part was opening the washing machine and realizing everything smelled not very fresh anymore.
That's the moment when you know you're washing everything again.
Exactly. I had no choice.
I've had something similar happen with towels.
Really?
Yeah, I washed them, forgot about them, and 2 days later, I suddenly remembered.
2 days?
I know, not my proudest moment.
Life gets busy sometimes.
It really does.
Here's another situation I think many people know. You're cleaning the kitchen because guests are coming over soon.
You look at the clock and realize they will arrive in 30 minutes.
Suddenly, you become the fastest cleaner in the world.
You wash the dishes,
Wipe the kitchen counter.
put random things into drawers.
Yes, everything disappears into one mystery drawer.
We all know that drawer.
It looks clean on the outside, but inside, it's a different story.
Then your guests arrive.
They smile and say, "Your house looks great."
And you're standing there thinking, if only you had seen this place 20 minutes ago.
That's so true. I also remember the first time I tried cooking dinner by myself.
How did it go?
Let's just say I was very confident.
Uh-oh.
I found a recipe online and thought, this looks easy.
Those are famous last words.
I forgot to read the whole recipe before I started.
Oh, that's never a good sign.
Halfway through, I realized I didn't even have one of the main ingredients.
That's happened to me too.
So I tried to replace it with something else.
Did it work?
Not really. The food wasn't terrible, but it definitely wasn't what I planned to make.
Sometimes those meals we remember the most.
Exactly. And even though it wasn't perfect, I learned something.
That's the nice thing about everyday housework. Whether it's cooking, cleaning, or doing the laundry, you get a little better each time.
Sometimes you make mistakes.
Sometimes you forget things.
Sometimes everything goes exactly as planned.
But in the end, they're all normal parts of everyday life.
And they're also the kinds of situations people naturally talk about in English every single day.
Exactly. The conversations aren't complicated. They're simply real.
Speaking of real conversations, let's look at some everyday words and expressions that come up naturally while we're doing things around the house. Let's start with something simple. When people talk about housework, they usually don't use difficult words. Most conversations are actually very easy to follow.
That's true. You might hear someone say, "I'm doing the laundry," or "I'm cleaning the kitchen." These are everyday expressions that people use all the time.
Imagine it's Saturday morning. Your friend calls and asks, "What are you doing today?"
You could answer, "I'm doing some housework this morning."
That's a very natural response. You don't even need to explain every little task unless someone asks.
But if they do ask, you can simply say, "I'm cleaning my room."
Or, "I'm doing the laundry."
Or maybe, "I'm washing the dishes."
These are the kinds of phrases you'll hear in real conversations between friends or family members.
Here's another everyday situation. You walk into the living room and your family member is holding a vacuum cleaner.
You might ask, "Are you vacuuming?"
And they could simply answer, "Yeah, the floor was getting dusty."
Notice how natural that sounds. Nobody is trying to use fancy English.
Exactly. Everyday English is usually short, clear, and relaxed.
Now, let's imagine another situation. You just finished dinner together.
The dishes are still on the table.
One person might say, "I'll wash the dishes."
And the other person might reply, "I'll dry them."
That's a conversation many families have almost every day.
Sometimes people also say, "I'll clean up."
That's a useful expression because clean up can mean putting things away and making everything neat again.
Here's another common moment. You notice clothes all over your bedroom.
You look around and say, "I really need to tidy my room."
Tidy up is another expression you'll hear a lot.
It doesn't always mean deep cleaning. It often means putting things back where they belong.
Now imagine you're talking to a friend after work.
They ask, "Any plans tonight?"
You might answer, "Not really. I need to cook dinner and do a little cleaning."
That sounds completely natural.
Another expression people use is take out the trash.
For example, "Can you take out the trash before you leave?"
Or maybe someone says, "Don't forget to water the plants."
These are simple requests that happen in homes every day.
Here's one more situation. You're folding clean clothes while talking with a family member.
You don't stop the conversation just because you're doing housework.
Exactly. Housework is often happening in the background while people chat about their day.
And that's one reason this topic is so useful for English learners.
You're learning expressions that fit naturally into real life instead of memorizing isolated vocabulary.
The goal isn't to remember every single word today.
It's to become familiar with the kinds of conversations people actually have at home.
Once you hear these expressions again and again, they'll start to feel natural.
And before you know it, you'll be using them without even thinking about it.
Let's keep that feeling going, because there are a few more useful expressions that can make these conversations sound even more natural. Here's something that happens in a lot of homes. It's Sunday afternoon, and the house feels a little messy after a busy week.
Yeah, nothing is completely dirty, but things are just out of place.
The blankets are on the couch,
There are a few cups on the coffee table.
and somehow there are shoes in 3 different rooms.
That sounds surprisingly familiar.
So you look around and say, "I think it's time to clean up."
And instead of doing everything at once, you start with one small job.
Maybe making the bed.
Or putting dirty clothes into the laundry basket.
I like starting with something easy because it gives me a little motivation.
Me too. Once I finish one task, I usually want to keep going.
Imagine your brother walks into the room.
He says, "Need a hand?"
You smile and say, "Sure, could you vacuum the living room while I clean the kitchen?"
Of course.
Now both of you are cleaning at the same time.
It actually feels much faster when someone helps.
Definitely. And somehow the conversation makes the work feel lighter.
Exactly. You don't even notice how much time has passed.
Sometimes my family turns on music while we're cleaning.
We do the same thing.
Then someone starts singing even though they don't know all the words.
That usually makes everyone laugh more than the music itself.
And suddenly, cleaning doesn't feel like work anymore.
Here's another situation.
You're cooking dinner and someone else is washing vegetables beside you.
You ask, "Could you hand me the onions?"
Sure. Anything else?
Could you also stir the soup for a minute?
No problem.
This is a simple conversation, but it's exactly how people talk at home.
Nobody plans these conversations. They just happen naturally.
Now imagine dinner is finished.
The table is full of empty plates.
One person says, "I'll wash the dishes."
The other replies, "Then I'll wipe the table."
After a few minutes, everything is clean again.
There's something satisfying about seeing an empty sink.
I completely agree.
Here's another little story.
Let's hear it.
One evening, I planned to clean my room for just 10 minutes.
Only 10?
That was the plan.
What happened?
I started organizing one shelf.
Then?
Then I noticed some old photos.
Oh, I know where this is going.
I spent the next 20 minutes looking at old memories instead of cleaning.
Cleaning has a funny way of turning into a trip down memory lane.
Exactly. But after that, I finally finished the room.
And I bet it felt worth it.
It really did. The room looked brighter and I felt much more relaxed.
That's something I noticed too. A clean room doesn't just change the space, it changes your mood.
I think that's why so many people enjoy relaxing after finishing their housework.
You sit down with a cup of tea, look around, and quietly think, everything feels nice now.
And without realizing it, you've practiced lots of everyday English through simple conversations just like these.
Exactly. They're real situations, real expressions, and the kinds of conversations you'll hear in homes every single day.
Let's keep that feeling going, because there are a few more useful expressions that can make these conversations sound even more natural. I think one of the best things about everyday English is that people often use the same simple expressions again and again.
That's true. You don't need complicated sentences to talk about housework. Most conversations are short, natural, and easy to understand.
Let's imagine you're walking into the kitchen in the evening.
You notice your family member is washing the dishes.
You might simply ask, "Do you need any help?"
And they could answer, "I'm almost done, but thanks."
Or maybe they say, "Could you dry these plates for me?"
That's something people say all the time.
Here's another everyday moment.
You're about to leave the house.
Someone says, "Before you go, could you take out the trash?"
You answer, "Sure, I'll do it now."
Simple, friendly, very natural.
Now, imagine it's laundry day.
Your friend asks, "Have you done the laundry yet?"
You smile and say, "Not yet, I'll do it this afternoon."
Or maybe you say, "I just finished folding the clothes."
Those are expressions you'll hear in everyday conversations.
Here's another situation.
Your bedroom is finally clean.
Someone walks in and says, "Wow, your room looks great."
You could simply reply, "Thanks, I spent the morning cleaning it."
That's a very natural response.
Sometimes people also talk about sharing chores at home.
For example, I usually cook dinner and my brother washes the dishes.
Or we split the housework on weekends.
Split the housework is a really useful expression because it means everyone shares the responsibilities.
Here's another little conversation.
Who's going to vacuum the living room?
I can do it after I finish cleaning my room.
Great, I'll clean the bathroom.
Notice how simple those sentences are.
Exactly. Real conversations at home usually sound like this.
Let's think about one more situation.
You finish cleaning the whole house.
You look around and quietly say, "That feels so much better."
I love that expression because it's not only about the house.
Right, it also describes how you feel inside.
Another nice expression is, "It's finally done."
Maybe after cleaning for an hour, you sit on the couch and say exactly that.
It's finally done.
And then you enjoy the quiet for a few minutes.
That's one of my favorite moments after doing housework.
Mine too. The house feels peaceful and you can really relax.
So instead of trying to memorize dozens of new words, focus on these simple, everyday expressions.
You'll hear them again and again in movies, podcasts, conversations, and real life.
And every time you hear them, they'll feel a little more familiar.
Before long, you'll find yourself using them naturally without even thinking about it.
That's exactly what everyday English is all about.
Let's finish today's conversation with a few final thoughts and one simple question for you to think about.
Before we finish today's episode, let's take a moment to think about something simple. Housework is probably not anyone's favorite topic, but it's something we all experience.
That's true. No matter where you live, there are always little things to do around the house.
Sometimes it's making the bed before you leave in the morning.
Sometimes it's washing the dishes after dinner or folding a basket of clean clothes.
They're small moments, but together they become part of our daily routine.
And what's interesting is that these ordinary moments create so many chances to practice natural English.
Exactly. Instead of memorizing long vocabulary lists, you can simply describe what you're doing.
You might say, "I'm cleaning the kitchen."
Or, "I'm doing the laundry before work."
Or even, "I'm cooking dinner tonight."
They're simple sentences, but they're the kinds of sentences people really use.
Here's a little idea you can try this week.
The next time you're doing housework, try thinking in English for just a few minutes.
You don't have to make perfect sentences.
Just describe what you see or what you're doing.
For example, "I'm putting my clothes away."
Or, "I need to vacuum the living room."
The more often you do that, the more natural English will start to feel.
Now we have a question for you.
What's one household chore you actually enjoy doing?
Or maybe there's one chore you always try to avoid.
Maybe you love cooking.
Maybe you don't mind doing the laundry.
Maybe washing the dishes is the one job you never look forward to.
There are no right or wrong answers. We all have different routines and different favorites.
The important thing is to talk about your everyday life in English, because that's where real communication begins.
And if you'd like, you can write your answers in English in the comments.
That's a great way to practice and connect with other learners.
We hope today's conversation showed you that even simple housework can become a great opportunity to practice English.
Instead of thinking about grammar rules or difficult vocabulary, you were simply listening to two friends sharing everyday experiences.
And along the way, you've learned many natural expressions that people actually use at home.
That's exactly what we hope you'll take away from every episode on Practice English TV.
Little by little, conversation by conversation, you'll become more confident speaking English in real life.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today.
We really appreciate you being here, and we hope you'll join us again for another relaxed English conversation.
Until next time, take care of yourself, enjoy the little moments in everyday life.
And as always, keep practicing your English.
Bye for now, and we'll see you in the next episode.